All right, guys, what's going on? This is Carlos, CEO of G.A.R Capital. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our morning note. Before we begin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, there's a little square, a little icon. Click on that. Turn notifications. Subscribe to our channel. Like our videos. Really do appreciate it as always. Let's go ahead and get started and talk about the market, shall we? Big week this week. We have a lot of earnings, a lot of things coming up. Dow futures are up 46 points. NASDAQ is down about 7, pretty flat. S&P is flat, up about 1 point. Russell is up about nearly 0.5%, 11 points, 2280. Bitcoin futures on fire, 53,610, up 5%. Nice bounce back. Crude oil is down 1.77%. Gold futures are slightly red, 0.08% at 1776 an ounce. 2610 an ounce for silver futures, 0.12%. Euro dollars down 17 pips, 120.81 for my forex people, 108.01. Up 10 pips for the dollar yen currently. Looking at the dollar index, it is up about slightly, 0.07%, 90.91, and the VIX is actually green, 3.5%, 1794. Remember, 20 level, that's your line in the sand for if you're bullish this market. Once it starts breaking above 20, then expect at least a 5% pullback in the market. Again, summer seasonality. I'm expecting a slight pullback. Maybe buy an opportunity for some names, but again, slight pullback with volume. So again, once the VIX breaks 20, that's when you want to start taking a look at the market a little bit as a whole and start seeing when things are moving. Okay, so let's take a look at what's moving pre-market. Let's see here if I can bring this up. Pre-market quotes. All right, pre-market, what's moving? Nothing, well, NEO. We have some NEO calls, the 42s for this week. They're up 2% pre-market. Some good volume there. Apple's up 0.31%. Intel's down 0.68%. Honeywell's up 0.5%. Boeing up 0.78%. JP Morgan's up about 0.5%. Word is that they will be accepting or they will be offering Bitcoin to their clients. If I can read this for you, I had it here. JP Morgan to let clients invest in Bitcoin for the first time. And the full provider will be the fund's custody provider is NYDIG. So there you go. First it was Goldman. Now it is JP Morgan. So again, more and more acceptance for Bitcoin. Very nice. And you can see that the bounce back in crypto is there. Let's see what else. American Airlines up 1.71%. Word is that the EU will let American visitors who are vaccinated travel to EU countries. It includes Belgium, Spain, Italy, France. The only countries that are not included in that obviously would be Switzerland and England because they're not part of the EU. But the rest of the countries in Europe are part of it. So just a heads up again, if you're planning to travel and you have a vaccine, you can. Shows a little bit of reopening, but EU is making their own rules, so that's where we are. Freeport-McMoRan, FCX, keep an eye on it because copper is hitting new highs. So again, Freeport-McMoRan could be a nice move. That's ticker FCX. Carnival is up 1.69%. Gilead basically flat, and AMD, which reports tomorrow, is up 1.20%. Tesla reports after the bell, they're up 1.63%. Let's see what else. Applied Materials is down 0.42%. NetEase down 1.74%. Skyworks is up 1.33%. Facebook's up 0.54%. So again, I'm seeing a lot of momentum names that are gaining here. Again, some bullish moves here. Again, we hit intraday all-time highs on Friday of 41.86 on E-mini futures. Right now, an S&P hit all-time highs too. NASDAQ is basically flat. Again, it's such a huge week for earnings. Again, today would be Tesla. Tomorrow, let me see if I can get you the exact schedule so you can take a look at it. Let's see. I know I retweeted it. Here, I'll find it for you guys. There we go. All right, so again, after the bell, you have Tesla, which is probably the one that's the big one. So I'm going to wait for that Tesla number and then do the aftermarket recap. UPS in the morning, tomorrow morning, General Electric in the morning, 3M in the morning. And then after close, AMD, Microsoft, Pinterest, Alphabet, Visa, Starbucks. So much, Enphase. You're talking about so many names, FireEye, Texas Instruments. So a lot going on tomorrow. Then Wednesday before the open, Boeing, Shopify, Spotify, Tiva, Wingstop, Humana, SiriusXM, ADP, After the close on Wednesday, you have Apple, Facebook, Qualcomm, Ford, Teladoc, Logitech, ServiceNow, eBay, all those names. And then Thursday before the bell, McDonald's, Domino's Pizza, Altria, Merck, Caterpillar, all big names. Bristol Myers. After the bell, after that, you have Amazon, Neo, Twitter, and Gilead, Skyworks. And then on Friday, you have all the oil big boys, Chevron and Exxon. So I wouldn't be buying Tesla here today. Obviously, you want to see the earnings. The expectation is that Tesla should be doing very well. I expect Tesla to soar as well, but I would not buy calls ahead of earnings. They're going to be way too expensive. My level to break is 760. That's really that level to wait for. And then once it does, then 800 would be the target. Once 800 is broken, then you could start looking up to all-time highs. But really, the gap fill is right around 776. Well, actually, I think we did fill that already. So again, that was filled on the 14th. So you can see that that 760 level is that resistance. Once that does break, then I would say 800 would be next. But again, not enough to get into calls. But again, I am a shareholder, so I'll be watching very, very closely. Another name that I would be watching, AMD is another name that has just been moving sideways for just almost weeks and weeks and weeks. So let's take a look at the daily on AMD. And you can see just two levels here, one sideways break and then sideways. So 84.81 to me is that level to break out. Once it does, then I'll target the 100-day moving average, which is 86.94. I'd rather wait for earnings first because then you can hit that resistance on earnings report and then reverse back down to around 80.75. So again, I'm waiting for that to happen. I would put AMD in the upper echelon of expectations of a beat. Intel obviously had their earnings. AMD is their direct competitor. Intel had, they beat as well, but again, their stock reaction was lower. I expect AMD to beat on both levels and go up higher. I am a shareholder as well, so again, I think Intel's loss is AMD's gain, and so is NVIDIA's gain. I like AMD and NVIDIA longer term, of course. I don't own any Intel. Microsoft is probably, I have the highest conviction on. I think Microsoft continues to go higher. My target on Microsoft for at least the next couple of months would be 270. I think they knock it out of the park. I mean, this is as bulletproof as it gets with Microsoft. I've been saying it forever. So I think you stay long the name, obviously, and I think they're going to smash it. And I say around 265, 266 will probably be the highest it goes. A 270 call might be a little expensive. Maybe 265 if you want to be prudent. Maybe 265 for next week if you want to be prudent. Again, something to watch. Again, beautiful breakout on the trend on the daily. Let's keep an eye on Microsoft. That's if I had to do like a power rankings of earnings, who is going to have the best call? Definitely Microsoft would be the highest. The second for me would probably be Amazon. I think Amazon crushes it. Third, I would probably go with Apple. Fourth, I would go with Tesla. Fifth, I would go with AMD. So if you want to go top five. I think Twitter is also something that could be worth a watch on. I would say 68.83 for a break, and then I would target right around 73. But 68.83 has to be broken first. So place an alert there and then see what you get. I think I've been seeing that Twitter has been getting a lot more users growth, just like Pinterest, just like TikTok has. You know, not as much as TikTok or an Instagram, but again, it's ticking up in user growth while Facebook is actually going down. I love Facebook in regards to their business model, their profit margins, and their business and everything because of Instagram, WhatsApp, and what have you. But the actual Facebook platform is actually losing users. So hopefully those that are investors or analysts are expecting at least a slowing, if not a downward trend of Facebook users. I personally don't even use Facebook, but I use Instagram and WhatsApp. I think Facebook's message or their story on their conference call, if they want the stock to go up, obviously, would have to be Facebook Marketplace and the connection of small businesses and sellers to consumers. If they can focus on that, if Facebook Marketplace does gain traction, I think Facebook does roll up as well. But I think Twitter is a better play for the upside in regards to higher growth in the future. Facebook, I think it can get to the point of being a little stagnant, but there's money there. They make a lot of money. Obviously, there's no dividend, there's no capital return. They don't buy back stock at all. So again, they're sitting on tons of cash. The Facebook actual chart above 305.49, I would target 315. That's probably much as best you're going to get. I expect a little more upside move for Twitter than I would expect Facebook because I think Twitter has a little more growth on their platform than Facebook does. Just my observation. Okay, let's see here. Thoughts on football reversal earnings first of May. I love football. I own it. I bought dips on it. The big level is 22.53. We're only at 20.88. 20.53 is your 200-day on your daily. That's what I'd be watching for. PayPal. Again, PayPal and Square are going to get some moves here to the upside because of Bitcoin bouncing. Remember that. Tesla too. So Bitcoin bouncing is a good thing for Tesla as well, since they hold it on their balance sheet. Below 268.30. Right now it's at 266.03. If you're really looking at playing a breakout, you really need to start playing above 277.44. That's really the only level I see a breakout in, because it's just been sideways. I don't want you to guys get chopped up. I've been there. Skills got some nice buys here as well. I've been seeing that. Again, it's hovering at the 200-day. If it does break above 20, okay, then I can see where you're coming from. I don't think there's a lot of options there. I haven't really checked it out, but if you want to own this esports company, I already own Espo, which is one of my holdings here. I had a break below 65. It is above the 50 in the 100-day. So again, I like this a little more. We were as high as 81.39. And Espo also has the NVIDIAs of the world and AMDs of the world, semiconductors. So when semiconductors bounce, Espo also gets a little love. Looking at Futu, I've heard of this one as well. It's been pretty choppy. Again, you can see this kind of moves on the daily, but I wouldn't touch it. I haven't done much research on it, and I really wouldn't trade it. There's nothing really to go by here. It's up about $1 pre-market. Good morning. Thoughts on Uber? Let's take a look at Uber. Uber I do own long term, and there is a breakout level right above 61. If 61 can break, yes, then I would target possibly the 62.5s or the 64s. Again, on the daily. On the hourly, again, I still need 61. I know you're probably looking at here at 58.91 possibly, or on the hourly, you can probably recapture 60 if you're still breaking above this 200. But I think they do report earnings next week. So again, something to watch. If you're looking for a short-term push, let's do 58.66. That'll give us a little confirmation to recapture 60 from this flush from Monday's move. Can you explain the Fed's beige book and how it affects the market? Yeah, give me a second. Basically, the Fed, excuse me, the beige book is basically a report, and it's published ahead of their meetings. We have an FOMC meeting today, Wednesday, and then we also have Fed Chair Powell speaking as well. So basically, it's published 8 times a year. Each Reserve Bank gathers anecdotal data on economic conditions, basically surveys. It's just surveys from different governorships of the Federal Reserve. They bring it together and they see how the market is, or how the economy is doing. That's basically it. I wouldn't put too much weight on it. It doesn't really move the market. Morning, Carlos. What are your thoughts on BA 245s for April 30th? 245s. Okay, there is a gap up on Boeing. Slight gap up. 245s, I can see what you're targeting. I'm not against it, again, because it's above the 100, but you still need to break above 242.31. If I would put the support for your trade right around 238.52, if it fills that gap to the downside, you may have to go ahead and unplug it there. But it's not a bad trade, actually, if you're playing the retrace from this Tuesday flush. Coin catching bigs with BTC, of course. I have bought dips on coin. I like coin long term. I own it. And again, I'm going to rock with it long term. NIO, yep, I have calls on NIO. We were in the money. I have the 42s for this week. Played this break right around 40.26. I think I got in right around like 40.80, and we're up nicely. PLTR, again, another name that we own, 23.67. It is up pre-market. I had a friend of mine who was asking me about a stock that he likes, like, hey, give me a name that's long-term expecting growth. And I told him Palantir is probably my favorite name to own long-term. I think the upside potential, if you hold it for 10 years, it's going to be like holding a Shopify or NVIDIA for 10 years. You're going to get that kind of multi-bagger returns, or a Roku. Again, momentum, higher risk, of course, but I like Palantir. I very much like Palantir long-term. I think 26 is going to come within months. Again, just waiting on it. If we bring up a daily, you see the all-time high was 45. I think once we break 28, it's clear skies to 45. I think we can get there. Blink is breaking again. All the momentum names: Space, Blink, PLTR, Neo, name it. It's up today, which is nice to see. So again, all the mega cap names are reporting this week. Neo does report Thursday. Again, let's see if momentum. Bitcoin going up again is a little more a riskier asset. Seeing momentum roll with it is a good sign. Again, from last week we had all the scare regarding the capital gains taxes and what have you. Now that's kind of subsided. Again, more stuff is more parts are moving. Joe Manchin, who I believe is the West Virginian senator, said that he's willing to not pass that law, that infrastructure bill, but a cheaper one. The Republicans are making their own infrastructure bill. So again, it's just a proposal. Obviously, you propose something when you want everything, and then you work in the middle. Again, I don't know. I'm not in Washington. I don't care. But again, all we can do is react accordingly. Nothing has passed in regards to any kind of capital gains tax. So is there any need to panic? No. Price target for Neo. Really, the price target, the next level for me. Really, I had the level was right here, 42.97, because it's that 50-day moving average. So once we get there, it's right here, 42.90. That's my price target, short term. But long term, oh yeah, I love Neo long term. Get above 66, 67. I think it's a $100 stock within probably 24 months. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for joining me for a morning note. I know you guys really enjoy it. Later today, we do have Tesla earnings. Once we get the Tesla earnings, see the market reaction, I will do the aftermarket recap. That'll be around 4:30, 5 o'clock. So if it's a little delayed today, it's because I'm waiting for the Tesla earnings and watching and reacting towards the earnings call. I want to see the reaction of the stock. I want to read the report. I want to read the conference call. So again, I will get you the details as I come in. Have a great rest of your day. Happy Monday, and we'll catch you tomorrow, guys. Or later on for the aftermarket recap and tomorrow's morning note. Cheers, guys.